So No Cap Sports, we coming to you live with a playoff preview talking about the first round NBA playoffs. Let's jump straight into it. But before we jump into it, bro, I gotta call a fraud out. 2019 NBA draft class, top 3 picks. Who is number one?
Zion Williamson.
He's a fraud.
Oh wow.
He is a fraud.
Wow.
Zion Williamson went 1. Ja Morant went 2. RJ Barrett went 3. One of those players didn't make the playoffs. You want to guess which one it was?
Wow.
Why don't you tell us, Nick?
Zion Williamson. You can't use the injury.
Wow.
Look. Can't use the injury excuse anymore. Played 61 games, put up 27 points per game. Had a better team than the other 2 guys behind him. And he finished 11th in the Western Conference. And this is supposed to be the guy that was going to turn New Orleans around, bring them to the promised land, the next LeBron, the next chosen one.
But he a forward, though. He a forward. You can't use that against him.
What you mean?
I don't think position. I mean, I don't think that's the factor.
Bro, no, don't act like
as much as they said generational talent, can't make the playoffs.
I mean, you saw his stats, bro.
I mean,
I also saw the wins too. 31 and 41. And he played 61 games.
You a hater.
He just coming in how we haven't seen each other in a while. So he had to come on with a big take. I mean, I like your deductive reasoning. The only thing I will say is that while he is the only guy that's not in the playoffs out of those 3, he's also the only all-star out of those 3. So it goes both ways. But I mean,
yeah, but he's also. So you say he's the only all-star? You're right. He also played with another all-star in Brandon Ingram. How many all-stars the Grizzlies got? 0. So you tell me you got 2 all-stars and you can't get to the playoffs? Now the Knicks do have 1 all-star in Julius Randle, but they in the playoffs.
All-star.
Anyway, my point is Julius Randle was an all-star, but the Pelicans had 2 all-stars, no playoff appearances. I rest my case there.
But he's a fraud.
I'm saying though, you could slightly disappointing to fraud. He made it sound like he Kwame Brown or something. Like,
he's a fraud.
Kwame would have had a different career path if he wasn't sent through the Jordan count, bro.
Hey, bro, I got so much bent up on Kwame. I don't even want to get into it right now.
You don't say that for the.
Hey, facts.
So fraud that's just so tough. Like I just feel like
7 points, bro.
I'm saying 60% from the field. Like he had he's doing things that other people are. He's literally baby Giannis in year 2 already. Like
Giannis was making the playoffs though.
And not in year 2. He was still
yes, he was.
playing point guard for Jason Kidd in year 2.
And they were in the playoffs.
Was he the best player on the team?
I don't know. Probably not. But he was in the playoffs.
Move on, Nick.
Anyway, man, I just had to throw that at y'all, see what y'all think. So let's hop into the real episode. And we got to start out talking about the play-in, bro. So, play-in brought us some good games. What did y'all think about it? Should it stay or should the NBA get rid of it next season?
All right. As a Grizzlies fan, I'm happy it happened this season. As an NBA fan, that really had no place in the game. Now, I'm not going to lie. I think they should bring it back because I'm happy the Grizzlies were able to win 2 games in a row and sneak into the playoff. But when it really mattered, they should have just played the Warriors for that 8 spot like how it happened. And the Warriors got the 8 spot, and that should have been it. That should have been it. But I'm happy the Grizzlies got the spot, as a fan of the Grizzlies. But, I mean, should they keep it? It was entertaining basketball. I can't lie to you, bro. Like, I watched both of the Grizzlies games. I watched Lakers, Warriors. And all 3 games were pretty exciting. Like, it was the best basketball I've seen in a while. So I think as a fan, I don't know, bro. I'm really on the fence. If the Grizzlies or Lakers are on that or
I definitely feel you, man. I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, definitely the Grizzlies would not be in, the game that they played tonight if not for the play-in. So I definitely, can admit that as a fan. But, the thing is what the players want. LeBron has already been vocal against it. Other guys in the league, Jamal Murray talking about the potential mid-season tournament had already stepped out in opposition against it. So, I mean, I feel as if the league definitely has to value their players, especially somebody with the stature of LeBron. So I would think that the league would have to, fall in line with what, the players are thinking. But Personally, I think there's gonna be so many good games in every, not just this year, but continuously. That team range 7 to 10. That's gonna be usually overcoming teams. Teams like, look, how many people do you think really saw LaMelo in a full game before the playing tournament? So I think that they'll definitely be. I think they'll continue to be high quality games. And as much as the players are going to complain, it's really only 3-4 extra games in total. So just for 3-4 extra games, I think that eventually the profit NBA can make. But right now, just the entertainment value is it's gonna get it. It's gonna be able to keep it there.
Gonna give a lot of teams chances in terms of imagine teams that weren't healthy throughout the regular season. So the Lakers, they dropped that, gave them a chance, to play against Warriors, a quality opponent. You think about the Wizards. Bradley Beal has been hurt the past 2 weeks, and that gives him a chance to get his body ready for the playoffs. So teams that's been injured or hasn't been right the whole season, then now they actually have a chance to, all right, this is your very last chance. Can you win these couple of games to get in?
I mean, kind of going off of that, Vance, I kind of want to take your fan argument and spin it, bro, because with the play-in tournament, every game down the stretch means something. So now you're not going to have those random games, in the middle of the week where all the stars are resting before the last game of the season. You know what I'm saying? Because now every team is fighting to be in that top 6. And those teams that are in that top 6 are fighting to stay in that top 6. And then all those teams that are 7 through bottom of the conference, they're fighting to get in that play-in tournament. And when you think about it, like Josh, you said it perfectly. It's only 2 extra games. It's not that big of a deal, not that much stress on the body. Yes, there's more stress on the body seeing how, teams have to go from the play-in and jump right into a playoff series with only a day of rest. Yes, that's tough. That's difficult. But that's kind of what you get for being in the bottom half of the top of the conference. You get what I'm saying? And one thing that kind of frustrated me, bro, you brought up LeBron saying, talking bad about the play-in, saying it shouldn't be in existence. Last year in the Orlando bubble, guess who was one of the biggest proponents of the play-in tournament? LeBron James. You want to know why? Because he didn't have to play in it. And he thought it was a chance for the young guys to get into the playoffs. But now he got to play in the play-in, and guess what? It's a problem. Bron, you were just hollering about this, saying it was a good idea less than 6 months ago. What changed? You got to play in it. I don't really appreciate that from Bron, a guy who's the face of the league, especially looking at how they just handed him no COVID penalty.
Facts.
Even though he broke the rules.
Hey,
so I think it's you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to leave that there.
Nah, keep going, Nick. Come on now.
Do you think the format should stay like that?
The format, like the play-in format?
Yeah, the play-in format. Do you think it should stay like that, or they should change it?
I really like how it is now because you should get rewarded for being a 7th or 8th seed because traditionally those seeds make the playoffs. If you're a 7th or 8th seed, you should be able to win at least 1 game. So for the 9 and 10 seeds, I think it's fair that you have to win 2 games because traditionally y'all aren't in the playoffs. So you have to beat, either the 9 or the 10, then beat either the 7 or 8, whoever loses that series. So I think it's a fair play-in tournament. And I think at the end of the day, the best teams make the playoffs.
I mean, definitely. I mean, like Nick said, I definitely think that the NBA has the best format right now, and I think the only thing they'll need to tweak with it is potentially adding some more tournament style stuff in the middle of the season. But no, they got a good format. I'm just curious to see the 10th seed that team that would have been nowhere close to the playoff race. I want to see that first team. I guess would have been Charlotte this year and San Antonio in the West. Like the 10th seed, how far they'll be able to go in the actual playoffs. They win the playoff and then upset a 1 seed. That's what I'm most curious to see, honestly.
And I think that's something that's very possible because you look at the games we had this year. We had some amazing play-in games. You look at Jason Tatum dropping 50 in his play-in game. You look at LeBron hitting the shot over Steph to give the Lakers their victory in the play-in game. And then you look at the battle between the Warriors and the Grizzlies in their play-in game. And it's just like anything can happen in these play-in games. But at the end of the day, I really think the best teams made the playoffs this year.
The only thing I will say in opposition is that it's going to take the right guy to get hurt during the play-in for it to be really examined and probably be taken out. Like, imagine if LeBron had got hurt in that. I mean, he didn't get hurt. He did a little acting job. But imagine he had a real structural injury in that Golden State game. How, Adam Silver would have reacted the next morning. So, there's a reason why the players are opposed to it and the fans are against it. I mean, the fans love it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the NBA is going to protect their assets. And as much as I don't want to see it happen, like a pivotal guy, like a Tatum, like a LeBron going out in a play-in game and forcing them to miss the playoffs, I think that will, cause the league to eventually, get away with the format at some point.
So talking about the play-in, I kind of want to shift the conversation a little bit and talk about out of these play-in teams, that's the Lakers, Grizzlies, Celtics, and Wizards. Which team do you think will make it the farthest in this year's playoffs?
I'm saying, like, you asked us on the earlier, I was like, I don't know what else we're gonna say about it. I mean, just say that, read the teams again, and then think about, I love the Grizzlies, not all of, but I think it's pretty easy. LA is gonna be, in the conference, in the Western Finals, if not the NBA Finals, if not hoisting the trophy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sure.
Vance, what about you?
So you look at all the teams, bro. Let's be realistic here. Celtics, they're playing the Nets. No.
Over with.
The Wizards, they're playing the Philadelphia 76ers. That's an interesting matchup. I think the 76ers play defense. The Wizards don't, so I'm going to say no. The Grizzlies, they're playing the Jazz. Can they beat the Jazz? I think that's pretty realistic. You don't know how many games Donovan Mitchell is going to be out. He might be back game 2, maybe. But I think the Grizzlies still a matchup. They play defense, bro. The Lakers play defense too. So I would have to say it's either the Grizzlies or the Lakers. The Lakers have a harder matchup than the Grizzlies. And as crazy as it might, bro, I'm a Lakers fan. I love both of those teams to death, bro. If you ask me who my favorite team is, I'm going to say those two teams. Y'all know this. Crazy as it sounds.
Oh, wow. Go ahead, bro. Spit it out.
I'm going to say the Grizzlies, bro. I mean, bro, they can beat the Jazz.
Jeez.
The 8 seed, they can beat the Jazz.
Yeah.
They're going to have a 4-5 matchup. Who is the 4-5 matchup?
Clippers, Mavericks.
They can beat the Mavericks, bro. We saw the last time they played the Mavericks, bro.
You didn't say the Clippers, though.
What was the Luka Doncic had to make a miracle jumper, bro?
Yeah.
They Mavericks. I think the Grizzlies are our team to be reckoned with, bro. And this is just the beginning for them. So I'm gonna say the Grizz.
Yeah, and I'm gonna agree 110% with you on that because out of the Eastern teams, like you said, I don't think either one of the Eastern teams makes it out of the first round. You look at the Lakers and the first round matchup with the Suns, who had the second best record in the NBA this year. Give me the Suns. I really like the Suns in round 1. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and they had a great performance in game 1, beat the Lakers by 9.
Come on, bro. Relax.
But I will say the Grizzlies have the easier first round matchup. And I think it's easier to see the Grizzlies move into the second round because you look at how this Grizzlies team matches up with the Jazz. Yes, they lost all their regular season matchups with the Jazz, but I think this is a team that matches up well. They've caught a groove, and I think they could repeat what they did in the 2010-2011 season and beating a number 1 seed as an 8 seed. So
okay, bro. Real quick, I got a quick. The Grizzlies have a top blank backcourt in the NBA.
Ooh.
Dylan Brooks and Morant.
Dylan Brooks and John Morant, bro? That's top 8. That's top 8.
I go top 15.
15. Ooh, you kind of disrespectful, bro. Okay.
I mean, I feel like y'all a little prisoner of the moment right now. I can't lie.
John Morant's a top 5 point guard.
You said it.
Okay.
So they got to be in the top half.
So, I mean, that's interesting to say, bro. Top 15 is kind of disrespectful. I'm going to say top 10, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely – okay. How many times has Dylan Brooks just had one of his best games ever on national TV in his playoff debut?
The last 3 games, bro.
But how many times have we discussed, not on this podcast, in our group chat, about how frustrated he can be when he's not hitting these shots that was hitting tonight?
I've been a quarter of them for the past year. Y'all can't act like I haven't, bro. Now, we've had some haters in this group chat.
I've been ahead. I have. Because there are nights when Dylan Brooks tries to play hero ball and he just doesn't have it.
I call it a evaluation. No hating.
But now Dylan Brooks has caught a rhythm, and you see what he can do when he catches a rhythm. You guys are forgetting that this is a guy that led Oregon to the Final Four. This is a guy that is a bucket getter. And now he's caught his rhythm, found his place in this Grizzlies offense, and he's doing what he needs to do as, I would say, the primary scorer for the Grizzlies in the half court.
I mean, you looked at that roster at the beginning of the season, you see, Ja, and you were supposed to see Ja and Jaren as, guys that were going to be plus guys. I think the three rest of your guys were going to be swing starters, JV, Dylan, and Kyle Anderson, the end of them, whoever was feeling good that was going to fill that fifth spot. I think we can, all say that JV and Dylan have swung pretty good for the Grizzlies this year. As good as you thought, even better than, as good as you thought they were going to be. JV put up the third most double-doubles in the league, and Dylan, really turning his defensive reputation around and, improving on his shot-making ability.
And so now, we kind of talked about, what play-in team we could see going far. Let's flip the coin and look at what team is the most likely to get upset in the first round. Out of all the first-round matchups, who's getting upset? And I see the looks on y'all's faces, so I'm going to start it out. I think the Bucks are in trouble.
I was about to say, are we going to do betting favors? I mean, this is the...
I was just going by seeding.
Okay, I'm about to say, can we say that they would be upset if they literally just beat them last year? I feel what you're saying, though. Keep going, though.
But, yeah, I call this as an upset just because, this is I feel like every year in the playoffs, Giannis is out to prove himself. And I think this is another year where he won't be able to do that because I think the Heat will get them out of there in round one. Yes, the Bucks won game one on a Chris Middleton shot. Yes, Jimmy Butler and Bam didn't have their best shooting game. But what they did do was they frustrated Giannis to where he took 27 shots and finished with 26 points. And if they can continue to do that throughout the series, I think the Heat will take this series, especially with the way the Heat roster is constructed with all of these defenders who can switch on and guard Giannis one-on-one. You look at Jimmy. You look at Andre Iguodala. You look at Trevor Ariza. You look at Bam. The Heat are a team that is made to beat the Bucks, and I think they'll do it again this year, upset them just like they did in the bubble. Also, I got to throw out there, Giannis missed 2 or 3 games in the bubble in this series. This year, they'll get it done with Giannis playing.
Sheesh indeed. I like that pick, Nick. I had to go with Portland over, Denver. Definitely forgot about the Carmelo storyline until it was popping up until they started booing him. I was like,
that was crazy. I
was like, when did they start putting fans back in the arenas? I mean, then I realized the Grizzlies had them. I was like, what are they booing Carmelo for? Like, he's been back plenty of times since then. But yeah, Jamal Murray, I mean, he definitely was a playoff guy. He stood out in the bubble last year. He's a slow starter, somebody that was gonna, be able to, go blow for blow with CJ and Dame in the fourth quarter. Michael Porter is really good, but he's just not gonna be able to create his shot consistently enough on that level. So I think Dame is gonna end up being the best player in this series, which would be crazy because I think Jokic will probably, if he wins MVP, it would get presented to him during the series, wouldn't it? But I think Dame will probably end up being the best player in that series. Denver's newfound hate for Carmelo will probably inspire him, so he'll probably get a smooth 20 off the bench. So, yeah.
He started out 4 for 4 from 3 last night.
CJ Simons shooting like 59% from 3. I like Jokic. I definitely think that he's going to win MVP, but I think Portland's going to shoot too well for them to Denver to beat.
Yeah. I like both y'all's picks, bro. I agree with both of y'all, but just to be different, I'm gonna go with the Mavericks over the Clippers, bro. When you look at them, last year went 7 games. The Clippers barely by the skin of their teeth barely prevailed. But when you look at their rosters this year, you see 2 big differences, and that's 2 6-man of the year candidates on 2 different teams. You saw Lou Will, he's on the Hawks, who's going to produce on the team. And Montrezl Harrell, who's going to produce for the Lakers also. They're not for the Clippers. They're not on the Clippers roster. Who's the 6th man for the Clippers? Trey Man? What?
Luke Kennard?
Yeah, I'll give y'all 3 seconds. What college did Trey Man go to? One, Mississippi.
Florida State.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't even know, bro. I was just, I'm gonna take y'all's word on that. But give me the Mavericks, bro. Luka Doncic, that boy is a superstar, man. The Clippers, they all their bench production, bro. It's gonna get kind of spooky for them. They might get swept. You heard it. Kawhi Leonard's the best role player of all time, bro.
Whoa.
This is a kid show, man.
Hey, we coming in hot this
No cap. I thought you was wild, man. No cap. Hey, I like it though, man. I like the energy.
Hold on, bro.
He's a great role player.
Let me talk to you about that, bro. Was he not the
He
star
won't
in
gonna let it
Toronto?
slide.
Was he not the star in Toronto when he led them to the tip?
He did roll in Toronto.
He what?
His role was a star, huh, Vance? Yeah, his
He
role
did
was the franchise guy.
played his role.
Now his
He
role is the guy
He
to get
played his
upset.
role in leading the team in scoring.
Yep. That's the only thing he led them in, scoring.
Wow.
That's facts.
I mean,
Kyle,
when you think about it like that, yes, he did only lead them in scoring. But
that's like Lou Will lead the Philadelphia 76ers in scoring.
But my thing is, Kawhi was the bump that got them over the hump.
Literally. Never won a chip in Toronto before.
That is very cool, bro.
He took all the big time shots.
There's a lot of role players to get people over humps, bro. It's a lot of role players to get people over humps, and that's facts.
But
Dennis got the Bulls 3 rings doing what he does.
But Dennis Rodman also didn't have 2 Finals MVPs.
The Warriors would not win without Draymond Green, and that's facts.
Draymond Green does not have 2 Finals MVPs.
Andre Iguodala.
Andre Iguodala has 1 Finals MVP.
Exactly, that's a Finals MVP.
Okay.
It is. He's a role.
Never ever.
Kawhi,
like this.
You heard it. The greatest role player of all time. Rodman is 2nd. Draymond is 3.
All right now.
Hey, we've had some good discussion, and we're gonna keep it going, bro. Let's roll into all of these playoff series we got. We're gonna start out in the East because the East kind of boring. So we're gonna start out first series, 76ers Wizards. Let me hear y'all's picks. Let me hear what y'all think for the series. Just talk to me, man.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to call professional basketball boring and laughing these grown men faces, but I definitely was asleep for that Philadelphia Washington game at the church. Sunday nap. It was 4 games. They was gonna be the victim. Bradley Beal has led the league in scoring, and yet I've never seen him have a shooting fishing night with my own eyes. So that's crazy. Russ really disappointed me in the playing game, not just in terms of shooting. He's never been a good shooter, but impact and energy. That really shocked me. So give me Philadelphia in 5. I mean, MVP, Ben Simmons, gonna take one of them away. Pretty simple 5. They'll get 1.
The Wizards don't play defense, bro. Philly will score 115 plus points in every play. Give me the Philly in 5.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. There was a stretch of time in the league where the Wizards were the worst defensive team in the NBA. That's not going to help them in this series with a guy like Embiid and all the shooters they put around him, plus Simmons. So I think the 76ers take this series easily in a sweep. I don't think the Wizards win 8 games. Even if Russ comes out and gets a quadruple-double, the Wizards not winning, bro. I'm sorry.
I mean, I woke up, it was like they were down like 10 when I was at the end of the 4th. I just think Brad Beal can go for 40 one game, and then Russ can have, a pretty good fishing game. They're talented enough to get a game, but yeah, outside of that.
Yeah, but you also got to think about the defenders that the 76ers have. You look at Thibault, you look at Simmons, you look at Embiid. There's not too many buckets going to be gotten on those guys, in all honesty.
Let me say that. What the score was? What was the score to today's game, Nick? I know you know. 125, 118. So they was putting up some points, man. They was putting up some points. Let me call it on air right now.
Defense is literally running gun, bro.
Okay, Brad had 33 and 6. Okay. Westbrook, I mean, he had 16. Give him 25. Brad 35. They can take 1. Or why am I being optimistic about it? I really don't like them. They probably can get swept too.
So next series we're gonna look at Nets Celtics. So I'm gonna start this one out, bro. The Celtics were gonna lose the series before it even started, bro. Before the series, Brad Stevens said, "If I'm a general fan of the NBA, I have a hard time seeing them lose. We're gonna have to play great." If my head coach says that before we even step on the court, we can swept. That's point blank, period. And I mean, like, the Celtics are a good team. They had some injury troubles, losing Jaylen Brown, Kemba being out for a lot of the year. And Kemba hasn't really come back, and been that star point guard the Celtics needed him to be. But if we just look at the Nets, bro, KD, Harden, Kyrie, that's all you need to know. So give me the Nets.
No, you're definitely right, Nick. You could talk all eloquently about it, but all you need to know is that in the first half of that Nets Celtics game, Marcus Smart was the leading scorer, and that will never ever happen again. So Nets in 4.
Bro, I told y'all this literally months ago. It might even been a year ago, bro. Kemba Walker's not a top 20 point guard in this league, bro. He misses shots. He doesn't make plays. He's a cackling coon. That's what he is. He laughs it off. Like, yeah. Ooh,
Hey, you tripping tonight, brother. You tripping. Okay.
Y'all want to record. It's 1 o'clock here. It's only midnight there, bro. I'm kind of tired. Look, I'm a little sleepy, bro, but I sense to know it's going to be Nets at 4.
Yeah. I think the crazy thing to think about with the Nets is, bro, in the regular season, the trio of Harden, KD, and Kyrie, they played less than 10 games together. So the playoffs going to be their first real run, and they still finna run off. I think that's just crazy to think about, bro.
They played game 1, yesterday?
Yeah.
The Celtics for 93 points. There's one thing the Nets don't do is play defense. If you only score 93 points against them, you gonna lose. You got to have 93 points by third to have a chance against the Nets, bro.
That's facts. That's facts.
Hey, we got to shout out Rob Williams real quick, setting the Celtics franchise block record, which I thought Bill Russell would have had, but he was so old they didn't count blocks when he did that. And that's Shreveport, Louisiana native. He went to school with my roommate in college. So shout out Rob Williams, boo boy.
Yeah, 9 blocks. That's an NBA record in the playoffs for a player off the bench, man. Shout out to Robert Williams, Time Lord. So moving on to the next series.
What you call him?
Time Lord. You know that was his nickname?
Go ahead, Time Lord.
It's from his rookie year, bro. He was like late to the first workout, late like answering the phone when he got drafted. It was a lot of lateness going on. So they call him Time Lord, bro.
You already say he's from Louisiana. There you go. Come on now.
But next series we got, man, Bucks Heat. I already told y'all how I feel. Give me the Heat in 6. I'm gonna go 6.
Give me Heat in 7. I mean, I just think it was a statement that Jimmy Butler at the end of the regulation went around your best player and the reigning defensive player of the year. So yeah, I'll say 7 just because I don't think they're gonna be able to shoot officially. They didn't shoot officially today and they won't be. But give me Heat in 7.
And piggybacking off of what you just said, Josh, Jimmy Butler beats your best player to take the game into overtime. Also, your best player doesn't take the shot to win the game. That speaks volumes. When Chris Middleton has the ball at the end of the game and not your best player in Giannis, that says a lot about the Bucks.
And he missed the free throws to set it up to only to be a 2-point game.
Yep.
So yeah, a lot of shaky going on with my man.
I'm gonna say the Bucks are gonna win the series. I either 6 or 7 games. I'm not sure yet, bro. But for 2 reasons. One, the Bucks are trending in the right direction. The Heat are not. 2, the Bucks have a third facilitator in Drew Holiday now, bro. They picked him up from the New Orleans Pelicans. I think he's gonna do wonders for him. Oh, and they picked up PJ Tucker, who was a menace to the Miami Heat, bro. In game 1. So I'm gonna take the Bucks. I want to say 7 just because I love the Miami Heat, but I'm gonna say 6 games. Bucks in 6.
Yeah, and I will say that Drew Holiday pickup was major because especially looking at how ineffective Eric Bledsoe was last season in the playoffs, I think Drew Holiday is definitely a plus player, but I also feel like the Miami Heat have the backcourt and the defense and the switchability to just negate everything that the Bucks do. Like I said earlier, this is a team that is built to compete with the Bucks.
I mean, I can see it going either way, but they just extended him 60 or 80 million they did in Milwaukee. So if you Drew Holiday, I definitely think that's time. You got to cash a check. Nunn, Duncan Robinson, pretty good players. They're paying you like an all-star. You need to play like one in the playoffs.
That's facts. And so moving to our last series in the East, we're looking at Knicks versus Hawks, and I think this is going to be one of the best series in the first round of the playoffs. 2 teams on the come up. So tell me how you guys feeling for this one.
Arguably the best first game. Game winner at the end.
Oh man, I feel like I'm cheating, bro, because I saw the game once, but I think the theme of these playoffs is going to be out with the old, in with the new, bro. I was thinking Derrick Rose was in mode. But Young came in hooping, bro. I'm thinking he was a cancer to the Atlanta Hawks. He dropped 32 points in game 1. Give me the Hawks. Ooh, I love the Knicks, bro. I gave them a lot of awards last week. Give me the Hawks. Yeah. Give me the Hawks 7, bro. Out with the old.
All the awards for not. the one thing I've been, I don't know if I've been saying to y'all, been thinking constantly that Julius Randle went from a very bad 3-point shooter last year to very good 3-point shooter this year. You know, he put a lot of aspects of his game. Thibodeau has with defense, he got a better shape, got it out. But you know, with the way the game is evolving, that was unarguably his biggest improvement. 21, 22, 23% to almost 40, 41 now. And, you know, a lot of people were predicting that he was going to fall off in the second half of the season. I was one of those guys. So personally, I think that this may be the time where that, you know, that unsustainable, not to say it's unsustainable because he did it for the entire season, but, you know, some of that shooting that took him to, you know, MVP candidate, most improved player, that he's going to win the award, you know, all-star for the first time. This may be the time in the playoffs where the Hawks, they have a, you know, young wings, Herter, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins may switch on him a player too that, you know, will be able to slow him down. They're going to be playing him over and over again. And, you know, that efficiency in that shot making may come back down, not all the way he was before in New Orleans, but, you know, where he previously was. So with that being said, I'll take the Hawks.
And so I will say Julius Randle had a bad shooting performance game one. He was trying to force a lot, trying to do too much. But you got to remember, this is the guy's first playoff action. And I think looking at this series, you got to look at the benches because that's really who's going to win this series for both teams, seeing how both teams utilize their bench and go deep into the rotation. With that being said, I'm going to rock with the Knicks, bro. You got a young gunner and Emmanuel quickly coming off the bench. Frank, however you say his last name. I just really like their bench with D-Rose, Taj Gibson, all of these guys coming off the bench and being able to continue the pace that the starters set and being able to insert those guys with the starters and throw out a lot of different lineups, a lot of different variations. So at the end of the day, you got a coach in Thibodeau, you got all of these talented players, all these mixed match lineups. I'm going to rock with the Knicks just because of their versatility that they bring into this series. Now, moving on to the Western Conference, and let's start with a series we've talked a lot about already, and that's the Jazz versus the Grizzlies. I think this is most definitely, in my opinion, a 7-game series. I don't see either one of these teams coming away in less than 7 games. With that being said, bro, I just got a feeling the Grizzlies are up to something special this year. So I'm going to take them winning a first-round matchup with the Jazz. And the reason I say that is because, yes, Donovan Mitchell is out right now. He's missed the past 16 games with a sprained ankle. He missed the whole month of May. And his status for game 2 is uncertain. But, you know, it's always the acclimation process when a star player comes back to the team. Because now the whole team has gotten used to playing without you. You look at Bogdanovich, who's been averaging 24 points per game in the month of May. Now he's going to have to take a reduced role. Jordan Clarkson's going to have to take a reduced role. All these guys are going to have to get used to the fact that Donovan Mitchell is back. The captain is back. Everything's going to revolve around him. And even though D. Mitch is coming back, I don't think that presents a problem for the Grizzlies. You look at what Dillon Brooks did on Steph Curry in the play-in game. At one point, when Steph has taken 20 shots, only 2 of those he hit on Dillon Brooks. He was 2 for 10 shooting against Dillon Brooks. He was 5 for 10 versus the rest of the Grizzlies in the first half of that game. That just shows you the defensive impact that Dillon Brooks has and that he can have and will have once Donovan Mitchell returns to the lineup. So with that being said, I think there's a 7-game series where the Grizzlies come away with the win, especially if George's knee ain't keep shooting up all them bricks. So,
man, George's knee ain't was looking like Draymond, bro. I was about to get that. You jacking it up. Memphis is gonna win game 1. Utah is gonna win games 2 and 3. I think they're gonna win the next 2. I think Memphis is gonna get 2 back. Ooh, I think it's gonna go 7, man. Hey, this is gonna be this is gonna be a nice series, bro. One of the best series we've seen in a while. Just the shooting of Utah. If Memphis could keep shooting like this, it might not go 7, bro. Because Memphis is gonna play defense regardless.
Yeah.
And they had Utah. They kept Utah under 30% for 3. Utah doesn't do that, bro. That's uncharacteristic from them.
Utah averages 17 threes a game, bro. 17.
Yeah. Even make 10 in game 1. I don't think they made 10 threes in game 1. So just looking at it, but the thing is, the Grizzlies, that's what the Grizzlies do, bro. That's just what they do. I think Donovan Mitchell, I don't care if he does come back, bro, you can't come back from an ankle sprain like that, bro, just thinking everything about to be sweet, especially in the playoffs. Now it's a regular season game, you know, man. You can ease your way back into it. Donovan might try to push himself too hard, bro. I'm going to say the Grizzlies going to win in 6. maybe 7.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, the homerism strong. It's strong on this one. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in the pool. Grizzlies in 7, man. Just like I got two great co-hosts. Donovan Mitchell is 16. I didn't realize he's missed 17 games. You don't come into a regular season in a game and assimilate that quickly. Nonetheless, a playoff environment. The Jazz will shoot better than 25% from three, so I definitely think they'll be able to battle back. Donovan Mitchell doesn't come back for game 2 and they lose game 2. They've already taken home court. They've already taken both games in Utah. I could see it ended up being 6, like Van said. Dylan Brooks will not. I don't want to say that. I mean, I don't think he would average 30 points a game. It would be great if he did. He could do it with the way he's been playing recently.
He's gonna play defense, bro. That's the thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like like you said, they're gonna defend. Utah's shooting really gonna be an anomaly, or is that the way the Grizzlies are gonna defend all season? So, man, let me dump off the John Bull both feet. Grizzlies in 6, man. Let me quit playing with them folks.
Watching game 1, what was really telling to me was Rudy Gobert fouling out. Because not only is this a Grizzlies team that plays defense, you look at the fact that they forced 16 turnovers, held the Jazz to 25% shooting from the three-point line. But the Grizzlies took that, all the fast break opportunities, all of the attacking the paint. They got a defensive player of the year candidate up out of the game early in the fourth quarter. And I think if they can keep putting defensive pressure on and keep attacking the paint, I think it could get ugly for Utah, especially when they're not hitting shots.
Man, like I said earlier, bro, I've been saying this all season long. Jonas Valanciunas, third team All NBA, bro. It's the third best center in the NBA. It's crazy because he was able to play 40 minutes while Gobert was only able to play 24. But like I said earlier in the pod, bro, out with the old and with the new, bro. John Morant outplayed Mike Conley in game 1. I think it's going to be a continued thing.
Yeah. And so moving on to the second game in the West, same theme, I think, in terms of out with the old, in with the new. Suns versus Lakers.
Y'all not gonna sit on this podcast and say that LeBron went out in the first round. I'm not letting y'all say that, bro.
Well, brother, I'm sorry. LeBron's going home in the first round. I'm sorry. I'm saying it. I'm taking the Suns in 6.
Hey, wipe your nose, Nick. Yeah,
wipe my nose.
That powder got him going crazy,
wipe
man. I don't know what's wrong with dude.
The Suns.
Explain yourself.
The Suns gonna slime LeBron out, get him up out of there, kick him out of the playoffs in the first round for the first time in his career. The Phoenix Suns gonna do it, and you know who's really gonna do it? His Banana Boat crew member Chris Paul, bro. It's gonna get him up out of there, and I think this is gonna be a series where you see the CP3 effect in full effect. You got CP3 on a young team, and he's just going to facilitate and make sure everything gets done so that the Suns can come out successful in this series. Yes, Devin Booker had a great shooting night game 1. Yes, DeAndre Ayton had a great game 1. But I think you look at this series, and if the Lakers even want to have a chance, they have to play Marc Gasol. He hasn't played in the play-in, didn't play in game 1. You can make that face, Vance, but the numbers back it up. You play Marc Gasol, you get more spacing on the court, which means more driving lanes for LeBron, more driving lanes for AD in the high post, and you get more cutting lanes because there's not a big center just standing in the paint, hogging all the space. And you get the passing with, Marc Gasol. Just looking at some numbers, the Lakers outscored opponents by 11 points per 100 possessions with Gasol on the court with LeBron, and that number jumps up to 13.4 points per possession per 100 possessions when he's sharing the court with AD and LeBron. And now you look at the Lakers as a team, just net rating. The Lakers as a team had a 23.9 net rating with Gasol and AD on the court. With AD and Drummond on the court, that net rating drops to negative 3.4. With AD and Montrezl Harrell on the court, that net rating drops to negative 15.9. And on top of that, you just look at Gasol's defensive rating. He has 104.2 defensive rating, which is good for 8th best in the NBA. Like I said, there's no reason that Marc Gasol shouldn't be in the lineup. I think he's the best option the Lakers have at center if they want to be successful. And then you throw on top of that the fact that he's shooting 41% from the three-point line. That just adds to the spacing, adds to opportunities that the Lakers can have on offense. And so without Marc playing, I'm definitely going Suns in 6.
Okay. we do this, we do this show every week. We're gonna be talking about these teams, a lot. So we're gonna be discussing these topics a lot. So I'm gonna spend a lot of words, a lot of energy on this topic. So I'm gonna save it here. One team has LeBron James, the other team doesn't. So I'm gonna go with the LeBron James team and save my words for some of these other harder series.
I agree with you, bro. We saw it in the playoffs last year, bro. Game 1, LeBron plays possum, bro. Like, he's just like, blah, blah, blah is better than LeBron. He's hotter than him right now. He's going to play better than him. Last year, we saw Damian Lillard. He's the hottest. He's the best player in the bubble. He's the best thing since sliced bread. What do you do? Lose 5. Who do they play next? The Rockets. James Harden is the best guard in the NBA, the best scorer in the NBA. Lost 5. You hate to see it. Who else did they in the Western Conference? I don't remember, bro. Jokic is the best player in this basketball game right now. Lost in 5. AD game them. Then they played Jimmy Butler. It was a strong. Jimmy Butler is the hardest playing player in the NBA. Bam is going to be able to neutralize Anthony Davis. Everything is crazy. Lost in 5, bro. So LeBron playing possum. He only scored 18, 10, and 7. Slight work game 1. That'd be a great game for anybody else. Expect 28, 10, and 7 coming from LeBron in game 2. Give me Lakers in 6, bro. They not going out like that. Come on, bro. He
all those narratives and all the best thing we got was a Jimmy Butler meme. Come on, bro. Like come on now. Move past. We got other stuff to talk about now.
Hey, bro. I'm just saying, when the Suns do it, I want my props. That's all I'm gonna say.
You cheer for the Suns because you look like Jay Crowder, bro.
Come on. Hey, come on, bro. Be for real.
Hey, bro. Hey. Slow golf claps in the chat.
Facts, bro. I'll take that one. I ain't tripping on that one, bro. We just gonna move it on, bro. Moving on to the next series.
That won't hurt, I can tell.
I mean, if we being honest, bro, it did hurt a little bit. But Vance looked like somebody who used to play for one of the teams in the next series, looking at Nuggets, Blazers, and Caleb Swanigan. So anyway.
Oh wow.
Bro.
What you said?
Hey, he was leading that one up. Tween, step back. Okay.
In all fairness, bro, we have to be fair to Caleb Swanigan. He has an eating disorder. He was 300 pounds in 8th grade. But anyway, bro, talking about this series, bro, Nuggets and Blazers, just what do you guys think? Who are y'all taking?
I already kind of picked it in my upset section. Like I said, I didn't know that Denver had that much hate for Carmelo. Like, has he been back since he played? I mean, he definitely has been back. I'm trying to say, has this first time back in Portland? I don't really understand the hate. He did a lot of good things for that franchise, and I just feel like they unnecessarily pissed off one of the greatest scorers in the NBA. So yeah, give me Portland.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, bro. Like, even though he did force his way out of Denver, that was years ago.
Oh, that did happen though.
He forced his way out of Denver, yeah, but that was years ago. Denver should let that hate go and look at the fact that they have a blossoming new star in Nikola Jokic, who's about to win MVP. But unfortunately, their newfound MVP isn't going to make it out of the first round because I'm going to take the Blazers. And I'm taking the Blazers because guards have more of an impact on winning than big men do. Yes, Jokic is a point center, but he's not going to impact the game like Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are. And you saw that full effect in game 1 with Dame catching fire and just lighting the Nuggets up. And so with that, I'm going Blazers. I think it'll be a 6-7 game series still because, when you do have an MVP, anything is possible. But I will say that the Blazers are going to take this series, especially with a pissed off Melo.
When did the Nuggets get an Italian mobster on their team? I was like, watching, it was like Capazzo. And I'm looking like he's like 5'7", and I'm like, who is this? Like, he's been on the team?
You're so sleep. He might have the nicest passes in the NBA, bro. There's a whole thread.
Come on, Nick. Come on, cuz.
No, bro. Hold on, bro.
I seen Buddy play.
You follow Worldwide Wob on Twitter, bro? He has a whole thread of Compazzo passes, bro. Them jumps are immaculate.
Bro, he a
season or something? Like, when I miss these?
He's a try-hard, Josh. Don't worry. He's like, think try-hard Bino Udrich, bro.
I was like, I'm watching this Godfather of Harlem. I said, when did the Genovese family start playing basketball? I'm like, what is going on? Who is this dude on the basketball court? Because really, when the ESPN did the close-up shot when he got stepped back down by Dame, I was like, Dame Lillard is like 6'2", 6'3". This dude is at least 4 to 5 inches shorter than him. I'm like, who let you on the team, buddy? Jamal Murray is hurt. They put water boys out there. Yeah, Nuggets gonna lose.
You sleep on Campazzo.
I see Campazzo. I was like, yeah, they're gonna lose for sure.
You sleep on Campazzo.
Sorry, we piss off any Italian fans, but yeah, get dude off the court.
If y'all, when Damian Lillard is in a series, bro, it's literally only maybe 5 players that's better than him whenever he steps into a series, bro. And one of those 5 players is not in this series coming up, bro. I'm gonna say Blazers in 6.
Yeah, real short and sweet. And so last series, a series which I think will be good also, Clippers and the Mavericks. What are you guys thinking?
I got a good one. PG stands for Paul George in the playoff is probably gone because he's definitely not showing up.
For y'all. I saw this on Twitter, bro.
Go ahead.
Playoff P, call him PPP because he a fraud.
Hold on, bro. We gonna chill on the PG disrespect for now because he had a pretty good second half in game 1. He had a
Captain Saver house tool over here.
I'm just saying, bro. Coming out in the third quarter, PG had it on him, bro. He had it on him. If it wasn't for PG, this game would have been uglier than it was, bro. In all honesty.
Okay.
But anyway, talking about the series as a whole, bro. This is a series we saw last year in the bubble with the Clippers taking it in 6, if I remember right, 6 or 7. But this year, a lot is different for the Clippers. And I think the Clippers are a better team than they were last year. You mentioned losing Lou Will. You mentioned losing Montrezl Harrell. But I think overall, this Clippers team is better with the additions of Ibaka, Kennard, Batum. I think this is a better team, especially on the defensive end. And you always have to factor in playoff Rondo because he was in full effect in game 1. And so with that being said, I think playoff Rondo is the bump the Clippers need in terms of having a true point guard that can get the team through tough patches offensively and be a defender on the opposite end. So because of playoff Rondo and their big 2 in Kawhi and PG, I'm rocking with the Clippers.
Who are the other 2 starters for the Clippers? I really don't know.
It's Beverly, PG, Kawhi, Morris, and Zubac.
So that's 3 all defensive guys that Luka just had a 30-point triple-double on. That's crazy to me. Didn't watch that game either. I mean, yeah. I mean, Luka's KP is still – he honestly doesn't even look like the same guy like he was in New York. I don't know how effective he's going to be. I think he's been pretty injured this season. But they're going to ride at L.A. in the Clippers portion of LA, so like 10 houses. They're going to ride if the Clippers don't make it past the first round. So I think that minuscule amount of pressure will push them forward. They got the 2 best players in this series. They got the 2 best defenders in this series. They should be able to play Luka Doncic better than that. And they should win this series, which is why I think Dallas will win this series.
Porzingis was playing on one leg last year. Then he couldn't finish after the season. He was actually doing after game 4. That was the only reason why the Clippers got past them. Clippers lost their 2 best players off the bench, both 6 Man of the Year candidates, bro. Give me the Mavericks. I respect the role players, so I'll give him 2 games, bro. Mavericks in 6.
I will say one thing about this series after watching game 1. Kristaps is really going to have to step it up if they want to be successful because I don't think every night you can count on a 21-point performance from Tim Hardaway Jr. And you also can't count on the Clippers starting slow like that again. So, yes, do I think Luka is going to do what he has to do in order to put the Mavericks in position to win? But do I think that Luka alone is enough to beat the Clippers? No, I don't. And that's why I'm rocking with the Clippers, who have a really deep team. Because like I just named the starters, you got to remember they got Rondo, Batum, Ibaka, Reggie Jackson, all off the bench. That's a solid bench, one that Ty Lue trusts. And I think that bench power is going to propel them to a win over the Mavs.
I'm going to ask y'all now. and I'm gonna ask you after every round of the NBA playoffs, who's gonna be the champion?
If I had to pick a champion right now, I'm going with the Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn.
And who would they defeat?
Phoenix.
LA. I ain't gonna say which one, but LA.
And so I got one last question before we close this thing out, man. We're talking about the first round of the playoffs. Of course, there are some teams that didn't make the playoffs this year. So what team that didn't make the playoffs this year do you think will make the playoffs next season? Quick answers.
Hornets.
I mean, Pelicans.
Bulls.
That's a nice pick.
I don't know.
You just pissed off Zion Williamson gonna get into the hamburger and go dunk on somebody because you said that about him at the start of the show, Nick.
Okay, and guess what? He's not going to make the playoffs again. Sorry, buddy.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I will say this, bro. Next year, the Warriors coming back with Steph, Clay, and they're going to make a move in free agency, bro. Even though none of
Warriors, we
yeah,
tripping.
that's what I was going to say. We pretty garbage for not naming them as a team that's going to make the playoffs. Probably because we were thinking of them being in the play-in.
They might make
We was spazzing, huh? Hey, the homerism strong on this one. We ain't Golden State who? We don't care about them right now.
Hey, facts. But anyway, bro, that's our little first round preview for y'all. Make sure y'all tap in. And like we said during the NCAA tournament, don't put your money on our picks because we are not financially responsible for what you do with your money and how you bet. We just try to give you the best advice we can. So,
but we do take credit for our winnings.
Oh yeah, we do take credit for that. So like, if the Suns beat the Lakers and you made that bet, I need my cut, at least 15%.
Hit my man Cash App. He ain't playing with you.
Facts. And if you don't hit my Cash App, Josh and Van's gonna ride.
Come on now, quit playing with him.
Facts.
I don't do no riding. Pause.
this nigga tripping.
You know, since Van's on vacay in Orlando right now, it's almost 2:00, man. We're gonna go and end this episode out. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and y'all be safe out here, man. And we out of here.